Hello and welcome to the first episode of my podcast, Straight Talk for Burnt Out Mums. And today we have got Becky Fanthorpe on. She is a nutrition advisor and a food blogger. So I've known Becky for years. Becky, we met when we were 16, were we? I think it must have been. We were in school together, but got to know each other properly when we were 16. So yeah, we've known each other for a while. We've had our highs and lows together, haven't we? So gone through lots, but Becky, tell us a little bit about yourself. People might be able to see in the background, you've got a little wee man running behind you. Yeah, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do and how you got into it.
Okay, so I am Becky and I started off personal training 15 years ago, and then I qualified as a nutrition advisor. I've kind of like done courses throughout the years, and I think it was about a year ago, one of my friends said to me, you really need to get onto Instagram, start your own page, put your food on there, because I was just sort of promoting healthy eating. I've had my Facebook page for about 6 or 7 years. So I started it a year ago, and it kind of went from being healthy eating, me putting it on there, to then recipes. But I mean, I'm no chef. I can't cook that well, but I guess the idea is that I have the ideas. So I kind of started putting the ideas on my page, started, you can hear them in the background, started,
it's live. It's fine.
It's
live, it's fine.
And then yeah, it kind of just went from there, and it spiraled, and now I'm kind of just doing work for companies, and I get sent some like amazing food now. Yeah, it's great. It's really good fun, actually.
So break that down a bit for people that don't really know. So you what do you actually get asked to do by these companies?
So what I do is I get contacted by companies who find me through Instagram, and then they sort of give me food or sort of ideas of what they want done with their food, and then I just have to content create. But I've got quite a good imagination, so I find it quite easy to think up new ideas all the time. Some of it doesn't work very well,
but that's learning, isn't it? That's not that's how you learn.
Yeah. It's good fun. It's good fun, but it's the idea is putting the recipes out there and how you can use food differently, I suppose.
Yeah, and then you're also going into restaurants now, and people are come in, aren't they? So tell us a bit about that.
That kind of started a couple of months ago. I got contacted by a couple of restaurants to do. I think they enjoyed the videos I did, so I sort of just that just sort of spiraled, I suppose. So I'm seeing about one restaurant a week now. It's really good.
What do you do in those restaurants?
Eat.
Just eat.
Yeah, really good. I've got a restaurant tonight, actually, and another one in Cambridge tomorrow. But yeah, just eat. Put a film together of their venue, the food they do. I kind of go behind the scenes, meet the chefs. It's really good fun, actually. Really nice.
And if you ever need a +1.
Yeah. Quite a few people said that to me.
Yeah, I bet they have.
I keep dragging Steve along with me everywhere. He's getting a bit fed up.
Steve is her other half. That's who Steve is. Yeah, just not some random bloke called Steve.
Yeah.
On that note, so tell me a bit about your family setup, because obviously I am the straight talking coach for burnt out mums, but I also deal with helping mums manage the highs and lows of a blended family. So tell me a bit about your family.
Okay, so we are a blended family. Me and Steve have been together for about 4 years. I've got just went dad. We've got Matthew, who's 17. We've got Lily, who's 13, going on 18, and then we've got Tommy, who's 18 months. I mean, I'm really lucky. We kind of all gel really well as a family. Steve's got on with the kids from the start.
So just to clarify, Tommy is yours and Steve's, isn't it? And then your 2 elder are with a separate.
Yeah, that's right. My previous husband.
Yeah.
He's. I mean, I'm lucky. Steve does a lot for them. I mean, he takes Matthew to football. He picks Lily up from her friends, you know, after school clubs, all that kind of thing. So I am really, really lucky that he's hands-on.
Yeah.
I think I'd struggle massively with working and having 3 children by myself, or, you know, if he wasn't so hands-on.
Yeah.
I'm quite blessed with that, actually.
No, but you did it for a period of time, didn't you? You had the older two. Am I correct in saying that older two on your own for a period of time? You were a single mum.
No, really hard work, actually. Hat off to all single women, actually. It is hard, actually. It's more of the kind of running around and having to be in 2 places at once and that kind of thing that's the hardest. And then obviously when you're working, that's just added stress and strain, isn't
constantly, isn't it? Yeah, like a juggling
100%.
Okay, so you are from a blended family, you are food blogger, you're into nutrition. So can you name some of the highs and lows of sort of running your own business as a businesswoman? How's it been?
I'd probably say one of the lows is when you're self-employed, I kind of every kind of month go, panic. Oh my goodness, is work stop? You know, luckily for Touchwood it hasn't, but it's that, you know, you're reliant on yourself to keep pushing all the time, and also you judge yourself, you know.
And we're terrible at that, aren't we? We are our own worst critics, and I say this a lot to mums, that actually what you need to do is you need to be kind to yourself, because we're so mean to ourselves at times, and we say stuff to ourselves that we would never ever dream of saying to another female or another person. So why do we do it to ourselves? It's yeah,
and it's really, give somebody else advice. I hear myself giving my friends advice, but then I won't listen to it myself.
Yeah,
but we all do it. Someone once told me, sorry, Tommy's getting his toys out. Someone once told me that even like, you know, marathon runners and Olympics, you know, people in the Olympics, everybody has their own self-doubt, don't they? No matter what it is.
Yeah,
can you hear it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's fine. But this is life, and this is one of the, it's a high being able to spend time with Tommy, and actually he's there and he's your focus and you can give him lots of time and attention. There's times like this where you could do with actually Tommy being somewhere else or with somebody else, and actually that's not life though. As a mum, that's not life. You have to deal with what's there in front of you, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really, really lucky, because when I'm doing cooking and things like that, and then all the washing up, you know, he's here. I'm here. Him. He will be starting nursery soon, so that'll be quite nice to sort of have a couple of mornings or days, you know, where I can focus a little bit more. But it's what it is, and I think every single parent has exactly the same issue, don't they?
Yeah, but you'll also have that mum guilt, and you'll have that guilt that you're at home, and why are you at home and you've sent your child to nursery school or to preschool or play school? Because if I'm at home, why shouldn't I? But and I remember that guilt as a mum, but actually you're doing the best for the child, because they don't need to be around you all the time. You don't want them to have attachment issues. They need to be socialising.
That's actually part of the reason. I mean, because I can work from home, one of the main reasons actually is so that he gets the social interaction anyway. I think it'd be really good for him to do that. But again, it's for your nursery, so it's a.
So that again, sorry.
You know, you have to pay for the nursery, don't you?
Yeah.
So
which is a whole different problem for itself at the moment, because people are struggling, aren't they, with that? They're struggling with the cost of childcare, nursery fees. It's astronomical. Are you going to get a table around the head? Are you?
Yeah, I know. He's got his. He's picked up. He keeps playing with his little tray off his little table that he sits at.
You need it swiped around the back of your head. So
get him cooking on it.
Yeah, too right. Does he get involved when you do the cooking?
Not yet. My daughter does. My daughter loves cooking, actually, and actually my elder son, he really enjoys it. I think he'll end up being a chef or something, because he really likes cooking. Yeah, apart from some weird stuff sometimes, but
yeah, concoctions that they put in thinking it's great and actually it's not too good.
Yeah, exactly. But trial and error, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you learn. You've never messed up. You just learn from it, don't you?
Exactly.
So where do you see your business going? Obviously, you've been contacted, and I know we spoke about the fact that it's all really happened quite quickly for you, hasn't it? And I said to you the other night when you rang me, just be careful that you don't run before you can walk, and to take a step back. And we had ideas when we were talking, and you were like, oh, I'll message this person now. I was like, no, Becky, it's late. Just stop your brain. So it's all happened very, very quickly for you. And I think you've been quite hard on yourself, and you've given everything to it. I don't believe that there is a work-life balance at all. I don't like that saying, but what I do think is there is a balance in life and work for every family, and it's very, very different for everybody. So how are you finding that balance?
I think as well that goes back to the fact of being self-employed as well. So when, I mean, my job and my brain is always ticking over, thinking of the next thing, you know. Yeah. And I think that's where I find it quite hard. Like some evenings I find it quite hard to switch off. And it's social media, so your phone's sorry, shouting.
Fine, you can hear you.
Phone time, and you know, it's emails all the time, and you know, and then I've got the 3 kids as well, so it's really hard to switch off. But that's where self-care comes into it.
So I know that I was going to ask you at the end, what is your biggest piece of advice for mums? And that was going to be it, wasn't it? A piece of is the self-care.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do for self-care?
For me, self-care for me, I quite easily slip as well. So I quite easily go downhill quite far. So for me, I have to keep a really good balance of eating well and exercise.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a walk, just to get out, get your blood pumping, fresh air, you know, it just makes you feel 1,000 times better. It really does. Yeah. And I noticed that if I don't, that's when you go downhill.
Yeah, I think one of the big things I found, as you know, I've given up drinking, and I gave up drinking at the back end of last year, and I've been on 2 holidays since. And normally when you go on holiday, you eat what you want, you drink what you want, don't you? And you drink alcohol, and you come home from holiday and you're like, oh, I need a rest. Like you feel bloated, you feel you blame it on the plane. Always blame it. Oh, I'm all bloated from the plane. No, you're not. You're bloated because the amount you've eaten and the amount you've drunk. You don't normally indulge that much. And actually, it does have a massive effect. It does have a massive effect on your well-being. Yeah, it is. It's just not nice. And I think it's so important that people realise that what is going in your mouth is important, because actually it reflects on how you are as a person, and sort of the amount of physical activity you can do as well, doesn't it? If you eat rubbish, you're going to be sluggish.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm only human. I wish I could give up alcohol for a year. But I mean, I will have a drink on a Friday evening, but you do feel rubbish on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, and it is a cycle, it really is. But I just, for me, it's exercise and eating well. You have to keep on that path.
Yeah, makes sense. So where do you see yourself going with your business now then? It's all going very quickly. It's all going very well. How do you see it going?
I had a couple of emails this morning, and I got really excited, and then I think, no, come on, stop, retract, you know, and you have to do that. And actually this has been a good distraction for you know, it's nice to catch up as well. But I think a lot, because it's only been 12 months since I started the page, and I'm going to be in another magazine soon and stuff like that. So we didn't
even mention this. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. We did not even mention this. Here is me completely going off the ball. So hold on a minute. This is Becky, who has been in 2 magazines, not 1, not 2. So what magazines have you been in, Becky?
Woman and Home and Good Housekeeping. I get really sheepish.
Right.
Good Housekeeping.
Right. This is what I tell my mums. Please do not go shy about it. Like, be proud of what you've done. Like, this is a massive achievement, Becky. Like, you've achieved so much, considering when you started and the journey you're on. You've done masses, and to get that in such a short space of time, you should be proud and shout about it.
It's just, again, it's happened really quickly, and you have this self-doubt quite a lot, or I get this self-doubt, and I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? I don't know, but I just carry on doing what I'm doing.
It's a little bit of imposter syndrome is what it is.
Exactly what it is. But yeah, I'm just going to keep going. The main thing is that I enjoy it, so I don't really not want to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
Lucky in that. just keep going and see. You know, we'll see what happens. I mean, a lot's happened in the year, a lot can happen in the next year.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about life. You don't know what will happen.
No, definitely not. You could was you watching Peppa Pig?
Yeah.
And is there so again?
At least it's not Cocoa Melon.
Oh yeah, I was out of that. My boys are too big now. At 6 and 8, I haven't had to deal with that, thankfully.
I know.
So are there any big names that you would like to? Are there any names of companies that you'd like to work for? And actually, I'm going to ask you something. The other day we spoke about, and hopefully I can mention this on here. I won't mention any names, but you have been approached by a couple of different companies that I think you said 3 that are all.
Names.
I don't even remember names if I'm really honest. You mentioned 3 companies that are all offering you a very similar product for you to promote. And you said, I don't know what to do. I've got one that has got a lot of followers and actually they've got a big audience. I've got, it may have been 2. I've got another one that is smaller, and then I think maybe a third that you said they were the company for me. Like they were smaller, they had your values, and you were like, I don't know, but the way you spoke about this company, I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, go with your gut, go with your values. And I think the biggest thing for everyone to be is have integrity and do the right thing. And I think for you, you're going to have some hard decisions coming up, and I think you do.
I'll be on the phone.
Say that again.
I'll be on the phone to you. No, I've gone with. I've actually made that decision. I've gone with the one that I thought, right, that's the one. I believe in sustainability and things with all the same ethics as me, and I think that's how you help other businesses grow as well, by doing the right thing and doing it with the company that suits you.
Yes, yeah, and 100%. And you didn't actually need me to make that decision for you. You just needed me as a bit of a sounding board, and you needed somebody to tell you were making the right decision. And the fact that you were so passionate, and when you talk about your business, you're so passionate about it that actually.
Excited, it's so I'm like a big kid.
Yeah, but that's good, because that shows your passion for it. I did an interview recently about the transition program that I run, and I've talked to loads of people about this transition program, but she said something in a certain way and I was in tears. I was on a Zoom call on an interview and I was in tears, and then I'm wiping away my tears and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry for crying, so sorry. And then I'm thinking to myself, Kirsty, I'm all about like getting your emotions out there, telling people how you feel, showing it.
I think that's what actually helps my business, is that I'm very honest and open. I'm not a businesswoman as such. You know, I didn't study at university business or anything like that. I'm just doing me. I'm being me, and I think what's working actually.
Becky, I don't think you could be anything else other than you. You've always just been Becky. And that's not in a bad way. That's not in a bad way, I promise. Like, you are.
My mom might hate me.
Mom, you either love or hate you. Yeah, very true. Very true. But I love you, and that's all that matters. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I'm sure when we talk again in a few months' time, I'll get you back on the podcast and we can discuss where you are, because I think you're going to grow big style.
You. Oh, and you as well. Like, I'm loving it. I'm looking forward to seeing some more of these podcasts as well.
I know, I've got a few people lined up. I think my next one, I've got to speak to somebody that's actually going through sobriety at the moment. I say I'm alcohol free because I chose to, I just didn't want to drink alcohol anymore. But the person I'm going to speak to, she actually admits that she had an issue. She goes to AA. So yeah, that's one of the next podcasts that I've got coming up. And yeah, a few different ones. So looking forward to it. Good luck. Yeah, well, thank you ever so much, and I will speak to you soon. I should say, actually, everyone, I will put on the once I've uploaded this, I will make sure that I put all your links on there, Becky, so people can follow you, because you're on Insta and you are on Facebook, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the right.
And what happened on Insta last week?
Oh yeah.
What did you get? Tick. You got the blue tick.
Like, what's the blue tick? I don't know. Apparently it's good though.
Yeah, I got a blue tick.
My kids were excited for me. I was like, oh, okay.
That's good though. That's great.
Like, yeah. Kind of forgot about that now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's so last week. Right, so I will put all your details up. People can follow you. Obviously, any restaurants or foodie people that want to come to you, then they can get in contact. And if you need a +1 for those people that have found you through my podcast, then I'm the girl.
This is the other thing. I'm getting a bit bigger from all these restaurants, but it's nice. It's okay. It's been great talking to you.
Yes, and you. And I'll speak soon.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Bye.